What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Parlor Talk tonight. So we're live with a really special guest, good friend, entertainer, and just all-around good person. Give it up for Jan Payne. What's going on, girl?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Good, good. Welcome to Parlor Talk.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Absolutely. So, quick little pre-roll. Jan Payne is originally from Jersey, but is now relocated to Austin, Texas. So, representing the Midwest, which is awesome. In terms of, and stuff we're going to talk about today, which I think is going to be really killer, is first we want to hear about your story. I think that'll be important. A lot of people are always interested. I only know a handful of female DJs like yourself, and you're crushing it. So I think people are going to want to hear a little about the story. But also, it's super important to talk about, one, that you're traveling and you're playing out of state and traveling East Coast, West Coast, and everywhere in between. Playing on festival stages like South by Southwest. I think that's killer. Love to hear a little bit about that story. And some of your recent remixes and mixes that have been going out. And I know you got a special debut you want to tell everyone about. So we'll save that for a little bit later in the show. But let's kick it off. Why don't we start with just to give it like a quick 1-minute intro for someone that maybe doesn't know you or isn't familiar with you.
Okay, so like you said, I'm originally from New Jersey, Monmouth County, born and raised. We moved to, actually, I'm in between Austin and San Antonio, in a little town called New Braunfels, which is nice because I travel to and from San Antonio and Austin to DJ pretty often. Started DJing, I believe it's about 5 years ago. I went to a school in Austin called the Dub Academy, and also my friend in San Antonio, Chris Buono, also taught me a lot. Actually, DJ C1 was the first one to give me my actual DJ lesson. Learned on turntables, play on CDJs. I can play on whatever you want to give me. Go ahead. It looked like you're about to say something.
No, I was just saying that's awesome. Keep going. I want to hear about it.
Yeah. I always loved music. When I moved to Texas, I got in with this girl, Erica. She worked for a company called Score More Shows, and they throw concerts and festivals all throughout Texas and even in some other states as well. So I was working with her for a while, and then decided I wanted to DJ. So I've always been in the music industry. Also, growing up in New Jersey, I did Deco and Abyss forever. I mean, promoting and everything at teen night. So I've really been in the industry promoting since I was 16, 17 years old, coming up with everybody, and then getting in the music industry in Texas, and then just really followed my passion as far as DJing is concerned, and just love everything and love DJing and going to different states. And, really you got to do your homework when you're traveling, because every state is different as far as what pops and what doesn't. Like everything I can play in New York and New Jersey, all the East Coast all the East Coast rappers, doesn't necessarily hit too well in Texas.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So it's pretty interesting.
That's a good perspective, and thanks for kind of just wrapping it up and kind of giving people the five second on that. I love it. So let's dive into some of this stuff specifically. So you were in the nightlife scene, and then who was like your inspiration that made you want to like get behind the decks and actually start playing the music rather than just being at the club?
Well, I mean, even just seeing like Bug Out, David S, like all those guys, like Clutch, seeing all of them play back in Jersey was super inspiring. I mean, even seeing people like DJ AM and people at Deco that I didn't know what I was witnessing at the time, and just being like completely amazed. And really, really, truly not even realizing what I was witnessing with Richie Santana, Peter Bailey, all those guys. I mean, it's always been a passion of mine, but I guess I never knew where to really get started. And then going to the school definitely really helped, but I learned most from my friend in San Antonio. I mean, really inspiring, just being able to really just figuring out how to learn. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, just watch YouTube videos and things like that, even as far as production is concerned. But for me, I really need to be hands-on.
Yeah, that's good, and it always takes like that one person to kind of give you that attention, because like we always say, you don't come out of the box like a DJ. But that's a cool story, because you mentioned a lot of really, really famous acts that came through Deco in New Jersey, and we were talking to DJ Unique about that the other night. talking about like what like people didn't realize and like they didn't know what they were getting, the value at that time for the type of talent they were bringing in. But that's awesome, and that's some really good inspiration. And those are some really really talented DJs.
Yeah.
So you get relocated down to Austin. You want to get behind the decks. You're taking some lessons, and then, tell us about. Do you remember like your first gig where you like played out, with your own stuff and like actually had to put on?
Yes. So the guy who taught me in San Antonio, Chris Duano, I used to play with him every Thursday and Saturday in San Antonio. Thursday night was college night. Saturday was obviously 21 and up. And I would open for him. I mean, I did it for months. And then I have kind of a funny story. And the reason why I'm telling it is because I feel everybody has a failure story that leads them to success. And I was in a DJ battle in Austin, and I was the only female. And I was so inexperienced. I set up the CDJs backwards on HID mode.
Oh man.
Fucked up the entire thing. I had so many people there to watch. Literally after I was done, I just cried my eyes out. And ironically enough, that led me to my first Sunday gig. It was actually at this club called Rio where the contest was. They had a rooftop pool. So I then, from that contest, somehow I was able to get every Sunday at the pool party. And it was like one of the hottest things about 5 years ago. And I would probably DJ for at least about 6 or 7 hours. I mean, it was a long time, but it really, really, really helped mold me into being able to do 4 or even 2. Now 2 is like nothing. But that failure story really, really, really took me off as far as starting to DJ in Austin, because Rio, that rooftop, was the hottest pool party in the summer on Sundays. And I don't know how it came from because I fucked up so bad, but it really, really, really helped start me off in Austin.
Yeah, I think that's really an awesome story. And you must have thought you sucked, but I guess the people who there didn't think so. Or
Right.
they thought they saw enough in you that you had the potential to run a whole party, which is pretty cool. So
Yeah.
what was that like when you started that party? From like, you had this set that you thought was awful, and then they're like, oh, well, we want you to start a party over here. Like, what was that part of it like?
It was interesting, and it was very they were very conservative as far as music is concerned. They didn't want any rap music, and at that time all I wanted to play was rap music. So it was actually kind of challenging to play mostly dance music and EDM and big room things at that time. But it really, really, being able to play for 6 hours, 7 hours, like now, like doing that is so easy, but it's actually pretty difficult, and being able to rock that long. But being there every Sunday, I mean, it really just kept me on my toes as far as downloading. I mean, even now, if you're somewhere every week, obviously not currently, but anywhere that you're somewhere every single week, it really keeps you on your toes, and you've got to be innovative and really figure out what you're going to do. And it really, it was a really great party.
Yeah, I like that. I want to go back to one thing real quick that I think it's awesome that you can share a failure story, because we live in this world of successes, where everyone's media feed is so particularly curated, right? And people are like, don't share the failures, and I think that's really like humble of you to kind of like put that out there, because I think everyone, whether there are girls that are watching or guys or anyone that's looking to get into DJing, that it's not an easy road and it's not always going to be a win. And there's a lot of times that I played at a bar with like 10 people for 4 hours, in the beginning, and so it's like that's really cool, and I like that about you, that you could share that, because a lot of people, they won't talk about that time, where they had a bad set or whatever the case may be. But yeah, that's dope. So you were rocking this Sunday pool party. So you were playing all house music. It was like actual poolside vibes, or what?
Poolside vibes. It was a rooftop downtown Austin. It had cabanas. I mean, it was just beautiful. It was a beautiful place to be every day. Also, Texas is very hot, so it's like 104, and I'm not exaggerating. So it's like, think about that. Sunday pool. I mean, it was the place to be for probably about 2 or 3 years, and I played there for probably about 2 summers, just about every Sunday.
That's awesome. So one of the questions I have for you, because we see a lot of these problems up here in the summer, is how do you stop your laptop from overheating?
That's difficult. I know this past summer when I was DJing at the W a lot, I mean, I have a bucket of ice that just sits on my computer, that my computer just sits on. And you've got to make sure you're switching out that ice bucket because it turns to straight water.
Yeah.
I mean, anything you can do, fans, everything.
So you actually put it on ice.
Like I have a bucket, and then so I just put like a thin towel, and then my computer sits right on it, and it keeps it nice and cool.
That's unbelievable. I would have never thought about that. We had a lot of issues, like, and again, not nearly as hot as 104 degrees like you guys deal with down in Austin, but
Yeah.
like on the beach here, we do a place called Donovan's Reef in Seabright, and there was like 3 or 4 weeks in like July last year where it was just over 100 degrees, and every guy's laptop was shutting off, and we're like, "Yo, man!" Like, and a couple of the guys, I got to shout out, like DJ O. I think he DJ'd from like his phone, like until his like laptop could turn back on. You know, like it was like that. It was like that crazy. So. But interesting perspective that you like it's on your rider that you need a bucket of ice to play.
Basically, because I'd sit there and like you can feel your laptop. Like I'm on my laptop right now. Like you can feel it. It really, really, really warms up quickly. And even like I DJ the UT football tailgate with Corona, and there I have no bucket of ice. So I've got to be very, very, very careful. I've also, thanks to one of my friends who actually covered one of them for me, he had a newer MacBook Pro, and that one actually overheats quicker than the older ones. So my 2015, I hadn't had any problems with at the tailgates, ironically.
No, it's good.
So I guess it kind of just depends.
Have you tried moving over to sticks, like on Record Box? Have you put any thought to that?
I actually, I play on sticks at certain venues depending on what the format is. There's just one venue in Austin where I play on sticks completely. But at the tailgate, I have to bring my own equipment, and I just bring my SZ because it's the easiest thing to bring.
Right.
So I'm always on my computer there.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Situational. I agree.
Exactly.
But it's good that you're on both and you're multidisciplined, because there's nothing worse than having an issue with what you're comfortable with and not having a secondary backup. So
Yeah.
I got to give like Chris a lot of credit. He's like completely on sticks, you know, and handles it. But he's pushed a lot of like guys like myself and other people to, you know, be prepared in that realm. And it's definitely helped me out.
It's difficult. When I first started DJing at this other venue in Austin called Summit, they're completely like all EDM, all house. And I was coming in there with a computer, and everybody plays on sticks. There's like 4 decks, all CDJs. And I'm coming in with my computer. I had so many problems with Serato, trying to switch back and forth. And it just got to the point where I had to switch to sticks, and I had to figure out how I was going to do it. And I mean, you become so dependent on what you see on your computer that you kind of lose the sound a little bit. I mean, just being honest. And then really like taking the time and like counting and figuring out how to go from one to the other based on just your ear. I mean, it's really a talent in my eyes. Like it took me a while to get it, but now that I have it, I mean, I love being able to just show up with my drive, or a couple of drives actually. You know, you always want to be prepared. My headphones, I'll always bring my computer with me just in case, and just plug it right in and you're good to go.
Here we go. Right here.
Sal's got a stick. I got mine on my keys all the time. Don't leave home without it.
I literally have 3 in my backpack at all times.
No, that's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the stuff you do with Corona, because having a corporate connection, I think.
Corona, the beer.
The beer,
Yeah.
the brand.
The beer.
Yep,
Yes,
very
the
specific. Talk a little bit about your experience with them, because that opens up some really awesome doors. And then maybe we could talk a little bit about you traveling, because I know you're in like St. Croix and a few other tropical islands, which is awesome.
Yes. So actually, the last 3 years, I've done the UT tailgate home games with Corona. And it's actually a company based out of California that Corona hires them to do the tailgate. So I work solely with them, but I mean, it's amazing. It's 3 hours before kickoff, 1 hour after. So it's 4 hours. And I mean, these people at UT tailgates, I mean, I've never like seen more people like tailgate. I mean, it's just crazy. And that that ugly orange. I'm sorry, it's so ugly, but it just like floods the streets. I mean, and the first year I did it, our standings in the in football were actually pretty low, so the tailgates were really early in the morning. I mean, I started as early as 7:30 one morning,
Wow.
and hundreds of people out there already. Hundreds and hundreds of people.
Yeah, that college football scene is crazy. My friend DJ Demand, shout out Jason. He's the Rutgers DJ.
Oh wow.
So I see all his videos. I don't feel bad for him working late Friday and then having to get up early Saturday for game day.
Yeah.
But he gets to do some really cool stuff, and that's a whole nother lane, a whole nother avenue to get you to play and put your music out there. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. And, you know, I really take the opportunity as far as like promoting yourself goes. Like, you always got to market yourself. So, like, I'll get custom UT football DJ champagne, black and orange bracelets, handing them out to people. That's honestly, I do that with just about every pretty big gig that I do. I'll always get something custom to give to people because you always want to market yourself. And that's a perfect place to do it, especially at a UT game. Like, everybody likes free stuff. So, and then next thing you know is like, there's people who come back the following year. They're wearing the bracelet I gave them last year. You know, it's just crazy.
Yeah, I think branding is really important because all that little stuff matters. A hat, a bracelet, a shirt. I think it goes a really long way, and I think it's overlooked by some people.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you're making a good move with that. So talk about when you travel down to. I know you're in St. Croix. Is that right?
Yes, I was actually just there the beginning of, was it March? The second week in March, actually, right before everything was shut down. It was actually me, David S., Beatbreaker, DJ, who's the main DJ out there. And it's just incredible. It was for St. Patty's Day. And it's a really big party that they do every year. And playing down in St. Croix, it's at this bar called Shoops on the Boardwalk. And it's literally on a boardwalk facing the ocean. So when you're DJing,
Right.
all you see is the blue water. I mean, there's nothing more inspiring than that. It's truly incredible. A lot of island stuff, but they also like to turn up. So it's a lot of just EDM, dance, not a lot of hip hop, a little bit, but playing out there is truly, truly beautiful, incredible. I played in St. Thomas. I actually did St. Croix and St. Thomas back in January. St. Thomas is beautiful as well. I played at a place called Sapphire Beach Bar, but literally on the beach. It's absolutely beautiful. It was a Bacardi full moon party again with DJ Cypher. I actually took my first seaplane. So you take like this really, really, really small plane from St. Croix to St. Thomas. I thought I was going to die. It was so windy. And when you're going into land, like it looks like you're just going to run into a bunch of buildings. It was absolutely insane. But ironically enough, I was on a plane with all musicians. Like I randomly was with Akon's DJ. Like, how does that happen?
Wild.
Like, I mean, what are the odds?
I don't know. But that's killer because those are the type of experiences that you get when you start to like travel and network and reach out. But shout out to David and Danny, two fantastic DJs and creators and two guys I look up to. So
it was truly a blessing and just like unreal experience to actually play with David S. Being that I kind of grew up promoting for him at Deco, and now all of a sudden I'm DJing with him. Like, what?
Put your drinks up. I still play it.
I mean, who doesn't?
It's a classic track, man.
Absolutely.
No, that's awesome. So you're doing a lot of traveling. You got the branding going on. Talk to us a little bit about some of the music production that you've gotten into recently. I know you released some edits. You released some remixes. Talk to us about that and how does that fit into your plan?
So recently I dropped a remix called Give No Fucks by Migos. And the feedback's been truly incredible. It's a little trappy, and then it has the Jersey, of course. Jersey is my main love, obviously, growing up in Jersey. Jersey Club is my main thing. Go ahead.
I was just gonna, shout out to 4B and all those guys, pioneering that genre that really kind of put it up front.
Yeah, I mean, truly, talk about inspiring somebody, that we've all grown up seeing, start DJing at all the clubs in Jersey, and then really just paving a lane for making Jersey club mainstream almost to a point. But yeah, so I've put that out. And then I don't know if we should talk about like mix shows or anything yet.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Talk about it.
Huh?
No, talk about it because you just put out a awesome mix on Club Killers, right? That just was like basically went viral on Mixcloud, I think.
So earlier this year, Club Killers was nice enough to feature me on a guest mix, which has been truly incredible. The feedback on that has been absolutely insane. I think it's at like, I don't even know how many thousands of listens. It's literally insane. I woke up the next day and from text messages from my friend Cole, one of the managers at one of the bars in Austin, it was #1 trending in the United States. And then like, I think it was 24 or something in like the entire world. And I'm like, how the hell? Like, I thought that was insane. Like that was insane in itself.
That's awesome. And big kudos to you. I think it's a bunch of different things, right? You're linking up with the right people. Like Club Killers have a good brand around mixes. Plus your talent and your edits and your style, I think, play a part in it. And then just all the support, right? I think you have a really good support structure. All those people, those other DJs and people in the industry that support you. So that's awesome and that's killer. And I know you have a big announcement. You got another big mix show coming up. Why don't you tell everyone about it?
Yes. So I woke up to an email yesterday from Danny West from DJ City and Globalization. And I'm actually going to be featured on Pitbull's Globalization in a few weeks. Got to do an hour mix for that, which is kind of unexpected. I'm really excited about it. Ironically, Beatbreaker tagged me in a post that they posted probably about a month ago now, where they were doing guest sets, and I didn't hear anything. Thought I didn't get anything because they had already announced winners, and then woke up to that email, and then they announced yesterday with a flyer, and so overwhelming, a little nerve wracking. Just got to get down and creative and see really what I'm going to do with it.
Yeah, that's killer. Congratulations, and I'm excited to tune in and catch it. It's a good opportunity to showcase your sound kind of on a bigger scale.
Yeah, absolutely.
So awesome. Congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Are you playing that live, that set?
Am I what?
Is that set going to be live, or you're pre-recording it?
Pre-recording it.
Okay, cool.
And it will air in the middle of May.
Nice. So it's a little less nerve-wracking than if it was live in a studio.
This is very true. Yes.
Yeah. Shout out to like the OG 92.3 guys that were ripping actually live on the radio. Yeah. That's a whole different skill set there. But yeah, that's awesome. Looking forward to checking it out. What I do have a really important question for you. So you started to talk a little bit about music that works, on the East Coast but not in the Midwest. Like, are you, in Austin? Are you playing? What's the style like? Is it more? Do you have more trap in there? Is it more West Coast hip hop? Is it more dirty South hip hop? Is it, what's like the vibe that makes Austin distinctly different?
Well, a lot of the places that I play a lot of house, like rap edits. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty commercial. There is a good amount of hip hop. I would say the main difference is like playing like Dipset and stuff really does not work down south. I'm playing more of like,
right.
Who are some of the guys? Now I'm drawing a blank. But whenever I go home and I'm able to play Dipset, more French Montana and things like that, like I feel like I'm more back in my element as far as hip hop is concerned. But a lot of the venues I play in Austin, I kind of steer away from hip hop, to be honest.
No, that's good. And I think everyone that's in the DJ community have experienced like managers or owners that are very like, they say, hey, do your thing, but it's not really do your thing. It's like, do what I want you to play, but have fun with it. So I definitely, right. We're definitely used to that from that perspective. But that's good that you are able to, figure that out. I think part of like reading the crowd and playing a little bit of everything is important. But that's cool. I wouldn't have struck Austin as like a big house crowd, Yeah.
So the place Summit that I play at, they're a rooftop down in Austin. a lot of really big room edits can be played there during peak hour. Like it's kind of insane. They have VIP tables all set up on the outside, and it's actually set up with a barricade in the very front. So it literally is like a show. Like every Friday or Saturday when I would play there, even if I'm just opening for somebody, and I've opened for a bunch of people there. It's literally like a show. Like people are right up against a barricade looking at you. There, you know, there's the big LED screen in the back. I mean, it's really like a concert, and it's really just a lot of like house edits, rap edits, you know, knowable songs, pretty knowable rap songs that are mixed in, you know, the edits with popular EDM songs that really just get people going. And that's really, really what I specialty mainly on.
Do you get on the mic at all?
I do sometimes. When I open, not really. But sometimes I low-key make my manager do it. I don't know if you guys know him or not. His name is Whitney. He's actually from New York. I met him at Deco. He used to run with Mike Bugout. So we've been friends since I was 17 years old. And then now he ironically moved to Austin, and he's managing me. And sometimes I make him do it. But sometimes if I'm drunk enough, I'll get on the microphone.
All right. I like it. If you're partying and having a good time, what are you drinking?
I am drinking tequila shots.
Perfect.
Definitely some champagne, and then just bottles of water.
Yeah, so you mentioned champagne. Tell me how that plays into how you got your DJ name, because it's Jampagne.
So Jampagne stemmed from champagne, obviously, because I love champagne. And actually, a guy named Sycamore, who works A&R with Travis Scott, helped me come up with my name. He was like, you've got to think of 2 words that you say a lot, help describe yourself. And I was like, dude, I don't know. Like, I love champagne. What about DJ Champagne? And he was like, nah. And I was like, well, I say jam all the time. He's like, well, what about Jampagne? And then pain still spelled like champagne. And I was like,
there it is.
Genius. I mean, I could have cried right then and there. I'm like, I don't know how you came up with that.
I love that. And that's like a really like organic, fun story behind it.
Yeah.
You know?
And like no one else is going to have your name, which is good because every single word DJ name is taken by like 5 different DJs. So to be the only person with that name,
there's a lot
good.
of DJs with the same name, just different spelling.
Yeah, exactly.
That's cool. That's a cool thing. But yeah, I love getting down with like some tequila. Yesterday we talked a lot about we kind of busted open that taboo kind of, are you drinking while you're working? Are you working? Or are you entertaining? All that. So that's interesting. But no, I love that. And you know, I think it's okay to drink, and it's important to like kind of break it up, you know, and kind of get loose. I feel like I have one, it takes the edge off. If I'm having anything more than one, I'm partying. And I kind of unfortunately don't really have an in between.
No in between.
Like it's 0 to 100, but definitely like we'll have one to take the edge off.
Yeah. I definitely need one or a few to help take the edge off. I'll never get to the point where I'm hammered because I don't want to self-destruct my own gig and then potentially not get booked again. So you've got to be really careful with that. So kind of a thin line you can play with, but I always at least just need a few just to help make me relax because I actually get really bad anxiety. So
yeah,
and I shouldn't rely on it, but it just helps just a little bit.
Yes. No, I agree because I've had people tell me like in the past, like, hey, you looked a little stiff up there, like you weren't yourself. And I was like, man, that's probably because like I had a long day, I had something else on my mind, or I wasn't, I was worked up about something else, or I just wasn't like having a good set. And I feel like when I have like 1 or 2 drinks to kind of like get me relaxed, I tend to play just like a little bit better. Sometimes. So no, that's a good point.
I agree. So what are you guys drinking?
Like Tito's Club, a lot of it.
Anything that doesn't have Red Bull in it.
I got a really funny story. So, big Tito's Club guy, all day, that and Jameson shots. But there was like for like one night we decided to switch over to gin.
Oh boy.
And Chris knows the gin story, but so
I am the gin story.
So, like, I guess you get a tolerance to whatever you're drinking. So, yeah, you can have a couple beers or you can have a couple Tito's Clubs. You're fine with relative to that. And then, have a couple gin and tonics when you don't drink gin, I'll tell you, is a much different experience. I think I had like 2 of them and I blacked out and I unblacked out in the middle, but
Confirmed. I think I slept in the DJ booth for like
Chris was
20
sleeping
minutes.
in the booth. So I would just say, aside from everyone knows not to mix your liquors because that'll hurt on the other end, definitely don't try drinking liquors that are completely different from what you're normally drinking.
Yeah. I
Our
remember drinking like Johnny Walker Black at Deco forever.
Ugh.
And then it's like every time I go home, Joelle and everybody's like lining up Johnny Walker. I'm like, I can't do this shit anymore. Like, I don't do Johnny Walker anymore.
I can't. No, I'm with you. And that's like a big North Jersey thing for some a very interesting reason. That and Hennessy, which I cannot get behind.
No, I can't.
Cognac, not my thing.
Yeah.
I'll have a nice glass of Macallan though.
Scotch, sure.
There you go.
Hennessy, definitely not. All right.
So I did have a shot of Hennessy. So right before everything shut down, before I went to St. Croix, I went to Vegas and 4B was playing. And, he loves his Hennessy. And I just remember like he was mid-set and next thing I know, the Hennessy bottle was just getting tossed around.
Yep.
And I was like forced into it, but like not really forced into it. I mean, I took it willingly, but I definitely almost threw up and I just didn't tell anybody.
Ugh, it's an acquired taste. Shout out to anyone that can drink that stuff.
It's yeah.
DJ Herb, I think, is sponsored by Hennessy.
For sure.
Or he has a Hennessy tattoo on his lower back. I'm not sure. One or the other. All right, so let's keep moving here. I want to talk about your experience at South by Southwest. For those of you who don't know, South by Southwest, huge music festival. A-list talent all over the place. And Jess, you were lucky enough to play it. So can you talk about what you did there? How'd you get involved, and how was the experience?
Yes. So going back to working with Scoremore, they during South by years ago, they used to host this party called the Illmore. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of it. It was based around a house party. So the Illmore was this company called Ill Roots from Chicago. It was a blog, and Scoremore. So that's how you got Illmore. And it literally started with them renting a mansion and just like having like all the homies show up because they do so many shows with these people who weren't famous yet. Mac Miller, Big On, Kendrick Lamar, like everybody you can think of was not famous yet or getting on the rocks of being famous. And they would just come hang out, perform, chill. And it just evolved into like literally the New York Times, I forget what, it was like a 2.5% entry that you could possibly get in, the percentage of getting in, which is like harder than Harvard or something. I have it on my Instagram. I don't remember specifically, but when I started DJing, it turned into me not actually working there, but now I was DJing there, which was absolutely insane. I got to DJ 2 in a row. Incredible experience. They stopped doing those. And then the past couple years, I actually got to DJ the Viceland bus with Manny. He's actually from Jersey. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but he lives in Florida now. And the Viceland bus is insane. Like, it's absolutely insane. And what I think people don't realize about South by is, yes, it's a festival, but it's not a festival like Coachella or things like that, where it's people in one big field. It's all different venues. And even parking lots, I mean, just random things that you would never think would turn into any type of venue or anything, all of a sudden are put up with a fence and a stage. And you've got people who have actually applied to be a South by Southwest official showcase artist, who are like upcoming rappers and singers, and are now, you're showcasing your talent like in the middle of a field basically, or
right
at a random bar, and it's literally just goes on all day.
So there's experiences all over the place. It's not just like one.
Everywhere.
Yeah, like one
It's
thing.
it's literally all day, every day. For the first week is like the interactive film week, which is people coming to show new movies and things like that. And then the second week is the music week.
I think I saw a video. I don't know if it was Coachella or South by Southwest, but remember the yodeling kid? Was he at South by Southwest the year you were there?
I don't believe so.
He was at Coachella.
It was Coachella, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think it was
And
Coachella.
then like Will Smith came out and like Travis Scott and people were like they were going like crazy.
Yeah, I don't remember who brought him out on stage.
Someone did.
Was it like Diplo? It was like one of these maniac DJs, I think, right?
Maniac DJs. That's so funny. Have you been to, Jess, would you ever consider going to Burning Man, like attending or playing?
I would absolutely do either one for sure.
Yeah, see,
Well, you could play on sticks, so you could leave your laptop at home.
perfect.
Because
Yeah.
I would never bring my laptop there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the dust storms are just like not my thing. So
Hey man, Tyvek suits are in 2020, so just suit up. You'll be fine.
I got plenty of gloves and suits and masks. Perfect.
This is very true. Hey, I think everything is worth at least one experience. You know, if you
Right.
hated it, don't go back.
Yeah, that's definitely a crazy one. The other one that I really wanted to go to was Dirty Bird Camp Out. One, because I like all that music, and two, because I think it would be cool to like be in a forest just raging with a bunch of tech house.
Love Tech House.
Have you heard about Dirty Bird Camp Out, Jess?
I have not. Please
it.
inform me.
Yeah, check it out. So it's Claude Von Stroke's label, Dirty Bird, and they do like it's like a retreat, basically. Not like a retreat. They'll go set up like a festival in the middle of the forest, and then like you pay and you camp out, like you literally camp out, and they feed you, and then there's like all the stages, and
Yeah.
they have all the like super top lining talent that's on his record label come and play.
Yeah, it's way more of
Wow.
an intimate experience though, because it's that niche tech house genre compared to all these bigger festivals that have all these different genres of music at them. This is just tech house, but it's cool because it's like a barbecue and a party and everything all in one.
Yeah, it's really good. I know a couple people that went and definitely recommended it. They do it on the West Coast, and I think they do an East Coast one. Like they did
Oh,
it.
wow.
It was like in Maryland, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, check it out. Dirty Bird Camp Out. It's another really good festival. Looking forward to getting up to that.
Yeah, definitely.
That's killer. So you started to briefly talk about this new remix you put out, Migos. You said, right?
Yes.
Talk more about that. How how did that come about? Are you starting to dabble more into production? Like, is that part of your roadmap going forward?
Yeah. Production is a part of my roadmap going forward. Absolutely. I've actually been working on it for quite some time now. I actually went back to the Dub Academy in Austin. Their music production, DJing school. Went back, took weeks of classes, and I still feel like I'm learning. But it's absolutely, I feel like production is really what takes your career to the next level.
Right.
As far as a DJ, but where I want to be as far as like DJing festivals and bigger things like that, like making your own music, making your own sound. So people are familiar with what you do. That production is the way to do those things.
Yeah, I love that, and I think that's a invaluable piece of advice for anyone that feels like maybe they've plateaued, or maybe they're hitting a wall, or they're just looking for something else to get creative. Definitely putting out your own tunes is super important. I love the remix. I think trap is dope. I always keep a good solid trap set together if I need to like bust it out. So it's interesting. Music goes up and down. I'm fortunate to play a lot of house clubs, kind of like similar to you.
Yeah.
We're at Teak Rooftop right here doing the live set. This is one of like the dope spots that's in Monmouth County now. Mostly all house, but I think it's good. Like, and I hear a lot of the West Coast guys play a lot of trap, like DJ Five and Eric Deluxe.
Yeah.
They always like in their mix shows. One of them does a trap set like every time.
Yeah.
Super relevant and popular genre. So that's cool. Looking
Yeah.
forward to like hearing a little bit more stuff. Are you going to stay in that lane, or are you going to kind of branch out, like maybe a remix or something?
Probably do a remix here pretty soon. Just trying to, currently not necessarily working on a remix or an edit right now, just because I put out 2 mixes actually last Monday for 2 different people. One for Beat Breaker, which is an all Jersey club mix for an hour on his breaking radio. And then Alex Dynamics, I did a 30 mix for him, for his show, both dropped on Monday. So I'm actually staying pretty busy And then got to get this one done. It's actually due next Friday. So got to see what exactly I want to do next as far as production, but definitely staying busy with putting content out. Exactly.
Love it. Love it. Super important. And I think that's like all really positive. And it's like you're setting yourself up, like putting these pieces in place for the next level, kind of, which will be, headlining festivals, Vegas type stuff. So we're excited to follow it and hear it. And I know we've, like the Classic Hills guys, we've been working still we're going to line up one of these weekends in the summer. We're going to get you on the set over here. I know. We've been talking about it for a long time. It's tough trying to make the puzzle pieces align all the time because just straight up the way it goes in this industry is everyone's got an agenda. Manager, owner, DJ, everyone's got stuff going on. So we're gonna make it work, Jess. I promise. We're working on it. Especially once we're looking forward to the season, summer coming up. It's gonna be dope, and there's gonna be plenty of opportunities. So we're hoping to catch you because I know you usually come up at least once a summer, right? And you play TE and on some of those other places.
Yeah. I do come up. I try to come up at least once or twice, especially in the summer. My birthday's the end of June. June 20th is actually my birthday. I should be back in St. Croix DJing that weekend, so I'll hopefully be coming up sometime in July. Typically a weekend, or I want to stay as long as I can. And obviously when I come home, I'm always looking for gigs. This way, I can just at least, instead of just partying, I can also play while I'm back home.
I like that.
Yeah. So I have a question for you. Are there other female DJs that you network with that you kind of have like a female DJ posse? Is that like a thing?
I don't know. Is it like a male DJ posse? Is that a thing too?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I know I can count on one hand all the female DJs that I work with.
Yeah.
Champagne, you're from Austin. DJ Reese is from Puerto Rico. DJ Xtina is from Philadelphia. That's 3.
I think you're out of
female DJs. I know DJ June just because I follow her. She's sick.
Yeah.
And then there's like Nicole Mudaber. That's about it.
Nicole Mudaber. She's crazy.
Yeah. There's actually quite a few really, really, really good females in Austin. DJ K. Callie, she's a badass turntablist. I mean, she's been in the game for a long time. She's really good. DJ Nix, there's actually during South by a couple years in a row, I've done quite a few all-female showcases. Awesome. Even last year, I did Beat Source DJ City, and there's so many different females that are all in Texas and Austin and Dallas that are really good. My friend Kate Chloe, she's a really good producer DJ. She's originally from a little town in Houston, but she's now based in Colorado. She puts out content all the time. She's really good. She's like one of my best friends. There's a lot of people that there's a lot of females that I can really reach out to that are good friends of mine that are actually pretty local that we all kind of look out for each other, which is nice.
Yeah, it's awesome because obviously everyone knows I would say the entertainment industry generally is pretty male dominated, but when you get into the subset of DJing specifically, it is very, very male dominated. I would say, would you say 98%? I mean, 99% at least, right?
Basically, yeah.
So that's good, and I love that. Like you're kind of just out there doing all the right things, like networking and showing up and putting out content. And I like how your stream is curated. Like I think it's really very tasteful, gets the point across. Your press kit was dope. We checked that out. That was cool. So no, I just love it. I think you're doing everything right, and I think the production's definitely the next phase for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things really for me, as far as being a female in the game, is I personally feel like you've got to represent yourself well. You can't be I think there's a difference between a DJ and out there showing ass, honestly. I mean, you shouldn't have to show ass at gigs. I mean, it might take a little longer, but your talent is what's really going to pull you through, because if you get booked based on your looks and you suck, you're going to get pulled. That shit happens all the time. You really, really, really got to really, 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 really show yourself in a very, very well light. I mean, you got to keep it classy, personally.
Yeah, no, I agree. So you disagree with Paris Hilton's DJ image?
I mean, I don't disagree with her image. I mean, she does what she does. She's Paris Hilton. She's been doing it for how long? I mean, we all know what it is. It is what it is.
Right?
I
It's just
mean,
a show. It's a gimmick.
exactly. I mean, it is. Yeah, exactly. There. I mean, there's a couple places that are like, I'm going to be honest with you. Like one of my good friends in Houston, he told me, he was like, I love you, but like, you'll never play here. Like they hired some girl and she sucked and it was based on looks. And he was like, I'm sorry, but like, you'll never play here. He's like, the only girl who will ever play here is Caper. And like, she's so badass, like
Right.
so badass. And I've been fortunate enough to where South by has actually brought me to be like actually pretty cordial with her through my friend DJ Furno, who's originally from Philly, but now is in Brooklyn. Really good friends with her. And she's just so badass. But he's like, nobody will ever play here but her, just because of how the persona of a girl that showed up with just looks completely tanked.
Right.
It ruined it for the rest of us.
I've been on that side of where someone made a decision based off a Instagram page,
Yeah.
and didn't choose to ask a qualified person to like give an opinion, and it didn't turn out well, to be quite honest with you. So, yeah, unfortunately, there are bad actors out there that are putting a bad rap sometimes kind of on what you're trying to do. But again, I think like you're bigger than that. You said something really important to me that was that like it's about playing the music and entertaining the people. It's not about the ass, because there's plenty of that on Instagram, and we don't need any more of that shit. But I'll say, I love that you're taking the high road and putting yourself out there as like a business person, and you're here to push your brand and show like how you can entertain. And I think that'll go way further than the cheap tricks and the people that put other things above the music. So
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It might take a minute. It might take a little longer to get there, but it's going to be more real. And you're going to see why you chose to pick somebody who's not doing it for gimmicks or looks. And you're actually getting somebody who's performing and knowing what they're doing and being able to read the crowd. And then you'll be like, oh shit, it makes sense. And you know what? Honestly, sometimes if it gets to that point where like, you don't believe me, give me 15, 20 minutes and I'll change your mind.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that a lot. So real quick, let's just go to everyone that's logged in on the Facebook and the YouTube. We got a bunch of people watching right now. Anyone have any questions for Champagne? We're willing to like just watch the chat for the last like few minutes here and just see if anyone has any questions for her. I do have a question for you though. So tell me, who is your favorite rapper? If you had to pick one.
Oh man. Do they have to be current?
No, just one though.
Okay. Just one. I'm going to say Joel Santana. I'm Dipset till I die. I love Dipset. Like,
Damn.
You'll never catch me anywhere not listening to them. Like, I will hold their legacy forever.
That shit's hard, but I like it. It's a good vibe. Joel Santana. That's funny. I think like someone that I could listen to like end to end and not have to like turn it off. Probably like J. Cole.
Oh, yeah.
Will like really do it for me. Like if I have to listen to it, like a lot of it, his stuff's got like a lot of meaning. And plus, I think he went like quadruple platinum with one of his albums with no features, which was like ridiculous.
I actually have an awesome story about J. Cole. So at South by, at the Elmore, I was done DJing. I was hanging out. J. Cole was going to perform. His DJ didn't have his computer. They had to use my computer, and it was like the crazy experience. The most craziest experience.
That's wild. I mean, that's cool that like you were like cool with him using like another DJ playing on your laptop, right? That's always like a little stressful.
Well, I made sure I was like back there, so it was fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Anyone have any questions coming from the chat right now? We're just taking a look. We can see all the feeds right on our screen. So shout out to DJ B Nice on the check-in. What's up, B? Saying what's up.
What's up?
A Mags. What's up, Jay Lenz? Aaron Magnifico, the man. A lot of good vibes. You know, like it's always funny. I don't really like. I'm not into Facebook really as much now as I was, but man, those time hops and those memories that come up, like, it'll be like 8 years ago you were here, and I was like, man, that was a good party. It always brings me back.
It fucks you up though, because you're like, shit, that was how long ago?
Right. It's a good like diary though for like our careers are like pretty
Yeah.
well documented. Because like think
Absolutely.
about all those people that were like playing in the '80s and the '90s, and they're like, yeah, I DJ'd the tunnel, but there was no videos and there's no pictures of it.
There's no proof. There
Like-
might be a flyer.
There might be a flyer, but that's like kind of that era was like, well, you were there and like you experienced, and like those people carry that with them, like that they were the ones that were there and they experienced it, but like, and that's just it.
Yeah, like I played at Output in 2018, and there's no evidence of it because you're not allowed to take photos and videos. You were not allowed to take photos and videos there. There's just a flyer. So I guess it's kind of like that old school vibe.
I did an event in Austin for Aston Martin. It was an all-female event, and they were releasing the new SUV. I forget what the model was and it was literally no phones, no nothing. Like everybody, it was all females. Everybody had to check their stuff out the door, and it's one of those things I wish I could have taken pictures at, because first of all, the car was dope, the event was dope, but
Yeah.
there's sometimes you just gotta live in the moment.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Trying to like put the phones down, I think, is like really important. Shout out, real quick, shout out to Wit on the check-in, saying what's up to Jam. But yeah, living in the moment, I think, is really important. And unfortunately, like if you're playing a college bar, they just have this 21-year-olds have this thing glued to their effing hand, and it's like the girls are drinking their drink like this, right? They have their drink
Yep.
like this,
Za on the visual here.
and it's and they're drinking their cranberry soda or cranberry vodka, whatever it is, and you know the phone is right here constantly. So it just seems like playing the music isn't like necessarily enough, and I feel like I'm sometimes overcompensating with my microphone game to get a reaction because they're so addicted to this thing.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a big change in kind of the way I've seen it been going. Do you see that as well? Like where people are just like not even dancing, they're just like on their phone.
I mean, you see that everywhere. It's so annoying. It's so annoying. Like, can you just put the phone down and have some fun? Like, you can relax with the angle. Like, it doesn't, this doesn't have to happen all the time.
Right.
Well, one of the things you mentioned earlier was you go from Thursdays, you do like a college night, and then Saturdays aren't necessarily college. Do you find that like big difference? Because we see that here, especially in Jersey, where we have some like college heavier bars and clubs than others.
Yeah, absolutely. When it's not college night, you're seeing more bottles popping, obviously. People with actual money and actually having more fun, I would say. But they still have it in their hands because now they're just trying to show off because they got all these bottles that they probably didn't pay for.
That's a great point.
Yeah. I find that like bottle crowd doesn't always dance either. They just kind of like sit around or like stand around and like bop their heads.
Yeah, they're just trying to be cool. Like, I just remember like back in the day, like being at Deco or even Abyss in the basement. Like, I loved hip hop. So like I was always in the basement at Deco for tea nights, and just everybody dancing their ass off, having fun, sweating, like not caring, like what that? Like, that was so much fun. Now everybody's just worried, like, and I would definitely say everybody's still on their phone from college to 21 and up. It's just in a different sense because 21 and up is showcasing the bottles they have. They're just sitting there on the couch trying to look pretty, still trying to get the best angle. And then you got the college kids, you're probably trying to show off that they're hammered and they're not 21 yet.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, but I mean, it's us as entertainers. I got to like figure out how to like work through that.
Right.
Okay, I think that'll be important. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, shout you out. Thank you for coming on Parlor Talk. Jess DJ Jam Payne from Austin, Texas.
Thank you for
Yeehaw.
having me.
I'm a little upset you're not wearing a hat, but it's okay. Maybe next time.
Yeah, I'm not wearing a hat for what?
No, like
A cowboy hat.
cowgirl.
Oh my God. First of all, you'll never catch me in a cowboy hat. You'll never
good.
catch me in anything that has to do with the Dallas Cowboys. I will forever be a New York Giants fan in a sea full of Cowboys fans.
There we go.
Never anything cowboy.
Represent. No, I love that, and that's cool that like you're bringing that Jersey attitude down there because I'm sure that stands out for sure.
Yeah,
But thank you again.
absolutely.
Thank you for having us on. Well, no, Well,
Thanks,
thank
guys.
you
Thanks for
for
having me.
coming on.
thank you for coming on. I want to say personally, thank you for making the time. And this episode will be posted up to our YouTube, so make sure you go check it out. It'll be there as like a little interview recap. And thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks,
You
Jess.
got
You
it.
too.
Talk soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
What's up, guys? You want some free stuff? We're giving away Mr. Q's barbecue sauce for free. Go to youtube.com/ClassKills and subscribe. And before the next episode, we're going to pick one lucky winner to get some free Mr. Q sauce.